Arr, mateys, Johnny Silver here with a round for your eyes to try. This here be the Dead Men Tell No Tales. I got this round off of Monument Metals here just a few weeks ago while I was out to sea, says I. Well, this design is inspired by the golden age of piracy in the Caribbean during the 1600s and 1700s. Pirates often raided merchant and military ships, exploiting their cargo with handmade weapons like the firebomb, an early form of hand grenade. According to legends, pirates used the phrase, "dead men tell no tales," to explain that killing someone was the best way to keep them quiet, savvy. The phrase means the dead cannot reveal secrets. This round is a great way to add excitement and adventure to your investment portfolio. And none of this scurvy. The perfect gift for any pirate enthusiast or silver collector, says I. So hurry up and get one today while you can. All right, so this here is Dead Men Tell No Tales from... I bought this over at Monument Metals. You can probably find it a number of different places. It's a fantastic round. We're going to go ahead and zoom in here and find some interesting things going on with it and talk it over right quick. I'm doing a voiceover here, so some of the things I find really interesting about the coin is this kind of stone-looking area around the rim. This pirate ship is pretty cool. You see it's got the Jolly Roger there, and if you see, one top flag up there actually has skull and crossbones on that as well. There's great like frill on his hat. He's very confident. I love the Meerschaum pipe. Looks like there's a bit of scrimshaw going on his pistol there. And if you take a look over there at that bomb, that's like I think I counted as many as 4 different levels of or layers of silver there, levels of silver that are done out. Now this is the other side. I think this guy is actually some kind of form of Davy Jones. You see it's got kind of the octopusy look up there, and then I like the background. It looks to be like it's some kind of ship beams or planks, something like that. I don't know what's exactly going on in the anchor. It looks a little weird. Maybe that's like splitting wood or something. I do like the details around the ship's wheel there. You can see there's leather that's been wrapped around there for probably to either mend a broken whatever that piece of wood is called, or just to strengthen it. So here, looking in close by now, we can get a better view of what's going on. I like the skull and crossbones on his hat. Definitely some kind of figure here just above that skull and crossbones. Probably a Davy Jones-esque figure would be my best guess. The cannons are looking pretty cool. At this level, they kind of look like there's some damage on them. Like maybe the round is screwed up, but it's really not that. That's just the way the lighting is. When we get in there, you'll see that this is actually a wood grain texture on the cannons, like the old wooden cannons would be. In fact, you can even see the steel bands that they would put around them to give them, well, actually make them sturdy and hold power. So there's some scrimshaw there on that pistol, which is pretty cool, or some type of carving into that wood. We'll have to see if we can see it any better. And you can see the wood in the ship's wheel here, which is pretty neat. We got another firebomb down there. It's not on fire though, but it's neat to see it there. It does look like the anchor is almost splintered from, well, you know, obviously the ship sinking, or possibly it was a laminate anchor that busted, but I don't think they did laminate anchors like that back then, but they may have. So there's a better picture of that that pirate ship there. You can see the pirate flag up there. I'll have a frame later that shows that one better, but there's detail in that pirate flag. If you take a look around his eye patch there, you can see it actually kind of sinks down into that eye socket. And this Meerschaum pipe is very nice. It's got the skull and crossbones on it. And you take a look at that rag there that I'm pointing out, right there. That you can almost kind of see through. There's a lot of detailing that goes on there, and it wraps around a skull cap. We'll zoom into that later, and you'll see it just even better. Here's where you can really start to see that. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's like 5 different steps to that detail alone. So it makes you wonder what the die was like that they used to press this. Take a look over at his rib cage. That's well detailed. You can actually see vertebrae going for a fair bit down the rib cage in the back. If you draw your eye up above his neck there, right at the collar, you'll see there's a button to keep that collar down. So there's a lot of detail going on here. There's a bit of an ugly piece that I just pointed out right there. It looks like it might be an artifact that's in this, but I can't really tell you. When we zoom in more, I think you get a better idea, though, of what's actually happening there. The teeth are well done. There's a lot of detail that goes on to the back. In fact, when you take a look in the back of the jacket, you halfway expect to see a tag back there. It tells you what the jacket is or something like that. You can see over here he's got his hand on his cutlass, just ready to rock and roll. Looks like we've got a good picture of Davy Jones and some other pirate on his jacket. The bird is well articulated. There's a lot of bones in here. We'll assume they're anatomically correct as far as it could be for a piece like this. A lot of flames going on in the background. The flames look very good. Some of them are far in the foreground. Some of them are way in the back, and they look wispy, almost like you can see through them. It gives a real depth of field to the piece that is interesting. So here we are. We're right on top here. You can kind of see that flag a little bit better and take a hint of the skull and crossbones that are up there. Of course, you can see it in the mainsail once again. So I would imagine that this would be the what's his face's ship, anyways. Davy Jones. I forget the name of his ship. Somebody can write it in the description down below. You can see I got a little bit of toning going on with this round already. It's to be expected. I mean, it happens. But it does look cool up at this kind of thing. It almost looks rusty. You really can't see it on the main part of the coin right now. You take a look here. You can see the detail in the meerschaum pipe. We definitely got a skull and crossbones, and the crossbones appear to be actual swords or cutlasses there. Plus, there's some stuff going on up at the top. There's some decoration around the bowl. Take a better look at that eye patch. You see it sinks well into the eye socket itself. And you look here, right where this is cut, you got fine detail in really tiny spaces cut all the way through and followed all the way through. So, and you can see that button in the back of his collar again. Almost looks like there, from a distance, that there would be some kind of entrails in here, but there's not. It's clearly put through. But what is interesting is that we can see the ribs on the back part of the cage. It's not just a front stamp. They actually carry it all the way through. There's a good picture of Davy Jones there and that other pirate. We get a better look at that pistol in his front pocket. I wonder if these lines aren't part of how they make that mold, like if it's lasered out or drilled out in some way that we're seeing, or if that's the grain of the silver as it is. Take a better look at those feet. You can see the bones are well done. Even the cartilage there at the sternum is in place there on the bird, which is neat. The wings are a little wild, but you know, hey, that works. You get an idea. I don't think it has to be 100% anatomically correct. A lot of flames in the background. Nobody in the crow's nest. I was kind of figuring there might be. Now, if you take a look off to the right, you can see a hint up by the flames near the crow's nest where there's other netting that is negative stamp there. So it gives it a different look, almost like it's farther away. I don't know exactly what I'm pointing out here, but if you do, type it down in the comments. You can see that button, though, I was talking to you about earlier for the back of his coat on to keep that collar down. The teeth are well done, very shiny. In fact, from here, it almost looks like they're shining off each other quite a bit. I'd imagine that they are. It gives a different kind of detail and texture to them, though. And, you know, again, we're just taking a look at this stone kind of circle that's around the outside of the round. Maybe see if there's anything more in the crow's nest we can see. It looks pretty good. I think it's a nice stamp. This particular round it has a lot of detail, as you can see here, for its price. I think it's a great value stacker for that reason. I mean, an ounce of metal is always an ounce of metal. It'll always have that base value to it, right? But, you know, for just a couple of cents more realistically versus a round that is so lightly pressed that it might as well just be a planchette or getting around like this, you know, just depends on you. For me, I like the aesthetic of the round. I've got ADD as it is anyway, so it keeps life interesting. It keeps it spicy. So here's the back side of the round zoomed in. That is definitely going to be some kind of, oh my God, you can see eyes and almost a mouth on him. Some kind of Davy Jones character on his hat. I love the freaky kind of drugged out eyes, almost crazy eyes is what it is. And you see they keep a lot of detail in this piece. There's a lot of wood grain textures here, and it's embossed texture. It's purposely put in there. When you take a look at the bones don't have that same kind of pattern, so it's not like a mess up or it's just the silver plain with eyes. And if you take a look at this is what's really cool. You, listen to me, you might want to pause the video and go back. You can almost make out some kind of wording that was on the gun right there. And when you take a look at the handle, the scrimshaw handle here, you see there's stuff that has been carved into it, and the actual ball of this handle has got a face carved into it. And so this is right on the round, and I think that's really cool. And while we're here, take a look at that cannon. You'll see that there's these weird long cracks that go into it, and that's going to be absolutely an old wooden cannon with steel bands wrapped around the sides to keep pressure. It is really neat to see all the grain of the silver, how it lines up. It's makes me want to learn a bit more on how they're actually pressing or stamping these rounds as a whole, because it's really interesting to see. I imagine these rounds are hot as heck when they come out. So now we're backed up even a little bit more. I think I've let me take a look here real quick. I believe I have a picture, and I'll put it up on screen if I do, of that flag. Yeah, I'll just put that up here and we'll talk over that real quick. So here's a still frame of that flag that you can kind of see. And you take a look at the Jolly Roger on the main sail. You can make out the eyes and the mouth, and then the two cutlasses. And you can see just a faint outline of sort of the same thing going on in that flag. And I thought that was pretty cool about this round as well. So here we are moving through the hat. You can see the frills on the hat a little bit. They're not necessarily fairly detailed. I don't necessarily think that the frills on his head at this time would be very frilly, where you would see a lot of detail, in as much as it would be more likely to be just a ribbon of some type around the hat through there. There's good detail on the eye patch. You see that it's got sewing marks all the way on the outside, like it's been put together, plus the skull and crossbones on it. I mean, it's just a full-on piratey round all the way around. And here, again, you can get down in here and see just how deep that goes. Better detail on the Meerschaum pipe. What's one of the neat things, you can see how, I don't know if you don't know what a Meerschaum pipe is. It's a type of stone Meerschaum is a type of stone that they turn it into pipes. And as you smoke pipe tobacco through it, it gets a kind of amber glow to it. They become a lot richer over time in their color from the acids and tars and stuff in the Tabasco. It gets soaked into that pipe. It's a porous stone. And so yeah, that will look even better, almost more realistically over time as this thing continues to tarnish, or whatever the cool word of the day is for it. But yeah, I don't know if that triangle there is like an extra finger that they meant to erase or something. I can't really place it anywhere. But it really doesn't show up too much unless you've seen it. There's only one other spot on this round that, in my opinion, that when you see it, you just can't unsee it. But you can kind of, I don't know. There's so much going on in the round, you really won't see it. But it's there. And I think, frankly, from an artistic license perspective, it's almost, he's a ghost, like obviously he's dead. So we can say that, the clothes that he's wearing are also going to be semi-transparent. And down around the one cutlass in his left hand, part of his cuff shows weird over the guard. But I love the detail, like the ripped pieces on the jacket. It really does look like chunks have been torn out, worn out. So yeah, this piece carries a lot of detail all the way through. So, if you were to find this round and you wanted something that would look good but not break the bank and still be a stacking round, I definitely think this is in the field of ones you should look up for sure. I see even this pirate's got a patch on his eye. So, I mean, they really went wild with the piratey theme here. It's an enjoyable round. Plus, when you review it on YouTube, you get to talk like a pirate, says I. So, what the heck? I think we're going to be switching over to the next one, the next side here pretty soon. I'm almost certain of it. So I'd like to see, I'd like to read in the comments below what you think about this round. Is this a round that you guys would pick up on your own? Do you already have this round? What do you think of it? You can kind of see those markings from the netting there in the background that aren't quite there anymore. It's not a raised area at all, but it's kind of pressed in. These cracked stones all around the side really give a lot of nice detail to it as well. All right, you see right there is where that piece goes over the cutlass, like it's part of his jacket or something. I don't know. It looks ghostly and ethereal, so you can just kind of let it slide, but it doesn't bother me. I think it's a round well worth getting anyhow. All right, now we're on the other side. And you can see eyes, a nose, and a face here on that. So, and this is very small, but there's still that detail there. It's a better run on the skull and crossbones there. You can even make out some teeth. And I think that generally speaking, the anatomical detail of the pieces is, okay. It's pretty good. I mean, you can't have it be 100% or anything. But again, we could see that wood grain a lot better. Take a look down in there in the beard where it's, you see that twinkle down in there? Just in between the handle and his beard. I mean, that's practically, you can see yourself in that metal. That some of the dark spots that you're seeing are actually quite light. Probably should throw in a picture of this round in full light. But the lighting I'm using brings out a lot more detail here than you're necessarily going to readily see on your own in open light. So you should be aware of that, but when you buy the round that you're getting this kind of detail anyway. And the thing about it is, as it tones, this round is only going to keep looking better and better and better. So here we look at the scrimshaw on this thing again, get a better idea of that face. It almost looks like the guy's wearing a mask, maybe. Like some kind of devil or something there. Something spooky. And then maybe CYK for the writing there just above the trigger. Hard to say. But the detail is wonderful. It's good enough anyway. Not terribly reflective. It's more of a in hand here while I'm talking about it. It's most of the higher parts are what I would call maybe a little frosty or frosted. I don't know. I'm still new to all this, so my definitions and stuff probably really don't mean a whole lot. Aren't very useful for that part anyway. But to me, it looks frosty anyways. It's not that shiny metal that you would think. It's not shiny like a mirror. But there are parts of that definitely are. And it's got good contrast in hand too, but you won't necessarily see it like this until it tones up a bit. So you might want to look for an antique version of it, or antiqued. I don't know how they do that. I'm not a big fan of antique rounds myself. It just makes me want to dip them in something that will clean them. But, yeah. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this on all the social medias, Facebook, Twitter, etc. And most importantly, leave a comment down below. Thumbs up the video. And have an excellent day. I look forward to seeing what you guys say about this review in the comments below. Y'all have a good day now. Bye-bye.